once again. Let's take up the next technique, conferencing. What is conferencing? Conferencing is a valuable tool in composition writing. It enables students to identify problems and find solutions to them. Let's watch how a conferencing session is done in the classroom.
Class, tomorrow we are going to have our conferencing session. I want you to bring the following. Write it down first. Your self-monitoring checklist with responses. Second, the list of your specific writing problems. And third, your original compositions. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't have any questions, will you take note of the following schedules for tomorrow? Roma? Okay, see me tomorrow at 7:30 to 8. Peter, or I should say BJ. BJ, please see me 8 to 8:30. Michelle. Michelle, 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And Liselle, 9 to 9:30. If that is clear, let's call it a day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Excuse me, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, Rona. It's good that you've come on time. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. May I have your self-monitoring checklist, your list of writing problems, and your last composition?
Here they are, ma'am. Actually, I've got two main problems in my writing work now. First, how can I make my paragraph unified? And how can I write my topic sentence clearly?
Well, I can see that on your paper. Okay. But let me help you. You see?
What did you observe? First, the teacher gave instructions the day before the conferencing session. Second, she fixed her student's schedule. During the conferencing session, she initiated the dialogue and allowed her students to express what they felt about their writing difficulties. Next, she offered some help on how to overcome difficulties in writing. The real value of conferencing lies in the opportunities it provides for the exchange of ideas and the negotiation of meaning between the teacher and the student. These are the benefits of conferencing: the articulation of writing problems, the search for solutions, the challenge to think critically, the probing of meanings, and the disclosing of implications. Our next topic will be feedback based on written comments and suggestions. Specific written comments and suggestions are more effective than comments such as fair, good, needs more work, or excellent. How is correction of student writing done? There are two ways of writing comments on your student's work. One is by underlining the words, phrases, or sentences which need reworking, and then writing comments on the margin nearest the part of the text with composition problems. Another way is by assigning numbers to the elements that need correction. Writing comments on the margin of a draft makes it easy for students to revise their compositions. Written comments provide a permanent record, which enables students to review their work. Remember, written comments should be honest. However, we must be tactful in giving these comments. After writing our comments, we insert the symbols that signal correction. But use these signals only when your students are familiar with them. Here are some of those symbols. Our students themselves are sources of feedback. They do this by reflective thinking. Our students can be trained to think critically during the process of writing their compositions. Let's watch another portion of a revision session where the students are guided by the teacher to monitor their own work.
Well, Well, I'm glad you had a good night's rest, because today we are going to have another revision session. I'm giving back your compositions, but this time I want you to do the following. First, read through your composition as though it were not yours. And second, read it again, but this time, respond to it. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Please distribute this. And then how are you going to respond to it? Melissa, please distribute the questionnaire.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you. Answer the questionnaire.
An alternative would be for us to collect their first drafts, deliberately keep them for about a couple of weeks, then return them to the students unmarked. The teacher reads the drafts and lists errors. Afterwards, the teacher constructs questions that would stimulate the students to think critically about their compositions while doing their self-editing activity. Let's go back to the classroom and watch the rest of the lesson.
You have a copy of this?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like Roma to read the instructions and BJ to read the items on the sheet. Roma, please.
Dear students, this SMCQ aims at identifying your writing needs and revising your compositions. Please respond to each item honestly. Your responses will not have anything to do with your grades in English. Your teacher, Mrs. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Roma. BJ.
Instructions. Put a tick mark on the space provided for corresponding to each item, if it applies to you. 1. I need to use appropriate words and expressions to make my written work understandable. 2. I need to use appropriate cohesive linkers and transitional devices to make my ideas flow smoothly throughout the text. 3. I need to know how to select relevant details and illustrations to make my content substantial and complete. 4. I need to know which of the methodical patterns is suitable to develop my topic. 5. I need to know how to start and end my written work interestingly.
Okay, so, is there anything you would like me to explain? None. If there are no questions, you may go ahead with your work.
This is only one technique used by the teacher. You also may encourage your students to devise their own self-monitoring instrument. When we return, we shall share with you a letter from a young teacher from Mindanao. So stay with us and we'll be back shortly.